I'm Nick Robertson in London. This is CNN.
You're at the International Desk, where we bring you the world up to the minute. I'm Jonathan Mann. Happening right now at the iDesk. Rivers of ruin run through Germany and Hungary, where dikes have burst, sending floodwaters gushing into towns along the Elbe and Danube rivers. Evacuations are underway. We go live to the flood region. Sunday worship services across South Africa devote prayers to Nelson Mandela as family members arrive to visit the ailing former president. And a ruckus at the French Open when protesters jump onto the clay during the men's final. All the details right here, right now. Smoking at the iDesk. Thanks for joining us. Emergency evacuations are underway in eastern Germany after a dike burst, sending floodwaters rushing into at least 3 villages. Crews were in the process of using large sandbags to shore up the dike near the town of Aachen when it broke this morning. Towns and villages all along the Elbe River are in danger of flooding. Officials say the gap in the dike is growing and that it's too dangerous to try to save the dike from further collapse.
We were very shocked to see the damage, especially in Breitenhagen. And we were also shocked to see the people are still trying to use sandbags to stabilize the summer dike and keep water from coming through. From our point of view, they are risking their lives because every minute large amounts of water go through there, and we think those measures will not have any effect.
Here's a look at the flooding situation in Dresden. The Elbe River is already at the top of its banks. Homes and businesses there are underwater, and streets have been turned into canals. Another river we're watching in Central Europe, of course, the Danube. In the coming hours, the river is set to crest in Budapest, Hungary, and officials there are already putting sandbags in place. While the water could hit record levels, the city center is expected to escape serious flooding. But we're joined now by Tamas Borbely with Here TV, joining us from outside of Budapest, where things are immeasurably worse. Where are you and what's going on around you?
Well, Jonathan, I'm about 35 kilometers away from Budapest. The town is called Dunabogdány, and we are eventually sitting in a canoe on the streets.
You are literally in a boat, and though we're just seeing water, this is a street where the canoe is drifting?
Yes, you are right. Actually, what you see behind me and what you see right next to me used to be a bike road. Bikers used to ride their bicycles here, and a bit further up on the, let's say it now, on the river, but it's a bike road, like I told you before. There's a playground, and the Danube starts somewhere like way behind us when it's normal time. Now the whole street, and we have to move with a canoe to get further. And if you don't mind, I can show you things around in this little street. On the right-hand side, eventually my cameraman will turn in a minute or in seconds. There's a bakery on the right-hand side. This bakery provides bread and all kinds of things to 5 towns, 5 cities around this area. Now it's filled with water. I hope you can see it, this wooden building. That's a bakery. That's the one I was talking about. And a bit further up on the road, there's going to be a telecommunication company, a German one's office in Dunabogdány, still underwater. It provides internet and phone for this region here, and also there will be, you're going to see it shortly.
Well, I'm curious. I'm seeing the water. I'm seeing the water, Tamas. I'm seeing the buildings. Where are the people? How many people have had to be evacuated from this town and the other towns along the Danube?
Fortunately, there wasn't any evacuations here. About 5 people moved out from their houses because they thought that the situation is not safe enough for them. But what you see now and the water that you see is like behind the houses. So I guess about 5 or 10 houses are affected, saying that there's water in them. But the officials said that today, yesterday, and the following days will be the war on centimeters and the war against the wind. Because if the wind blows, these dikes that you might see up there, the water can flow over those dikes, and then it can hit the streets as well.
Well,
so
I want to ask you about that. It would seem that
minding the weather.
Where you are, and then further on in Budapest, authorities have been extremely successful. People have been lucky for all of this water. It doesn't seem like there's been any comparable amount of destruction. People seem to be getting out pretty well, all things considered.
Well, I guess that it's because all of the emergency services, the civilians, the army, the government has just collaborated with each other, had a great cooperation. People are working on the dikes, working right next to the water from 0 to 24, 7 days a week, and they try to avoid the water to do further damages. Mostly the damages are in these houses, like you see it, and of course there are much more dangerous places. But this one is not a good place now at all. If you look around.
Tamas Borbely of Here TV live for us from a canoe. Thanks very much. Let's go to meteorologist Jennifer Delgado for an update on the water and the river levels and when we can see all of this get a little bit better. An astonishing live report there, a canoe to show you just how deep the water is, but not too much damage where he was. What are you seeing?
You know, what we're seeing is, of course, record flooding across many parts of Austria, Germany, as well as in Hungary, and where the reporter was just live. Yes, getting around a boat is certainly something that's going to be necessary because many of these rivers are up to, in some of these locations, 868 centimeters. Now, as we talk a bit more about the flooding there, and of course we're talking about the Danube as well as the Elbe River, we do know that it crested for some areas along the Danube, but we are expecting it to crest later today over the next couple of hours in Budapest. Now, up to the north for areas including Germany right along the Elbe River, we are still waiting for a crest as well. Some of those won't come until we're talking in the middle until the end of the week. Now, again, as we focus a bit more on some of the cresting there, again, for the Danube, we do know now that it is going to crest later today. But again, it is going to be above record flooding. And you can kind of see for yourself, it will slowly start to recede as we get into the middle of the week. So that's what's going to be happening in Budapest.